less than a week from North Carolina's stay-at-home order potentially expiring. But while many are pushing for a return to normal as soon as possible, some restaurants say their concerns won't end when the reopen process begins. Restaurants won't get the green light until phase 2. Channel 9's Deshaun Brown joins us now live from NOTA. Deshaun, you spoke to one restaurant who said even then they don't know if they'll be able to hire back all employees.
Yeah, Phil, the manager here at Heist told me they've already cut staff back by 95%, and they really don't have a timeline or know if all of those people can afford to wait until they're clear to reopen. This is what it looks like to rebuild.
I've been in the restaurant industry for, 25 years, and this is the hardest it's ever been.
At Heist Brewery in Charlotte's NOTA neighborhood, though doors have stayed open, nearly everything about their business has changed.
You know, if a place makes $10 a month in income, we're making $1 now.
Spencer Farrell is managing partner.
We're waiting on the May 8th decision to see what we're allowed to do, and then from there we have to make a plan. We have to make it that day.
On May 8th, North Carolina's current stay-at-home order is set to expire. From there, the governor predicts people can leave the house for commercial activity, still practicing social distancing. Restaurants may not see movement until phase 2, but even then with limited capacity and possibly staffing.
You know, if we can't bring them back quick enough, they're going to have to find work. Unemployment only lasts for so long.
We package the cookies up in 16-ounce beer cans.
Eric Westerduin just launched a startup at the start of this year. He's been teaming up with local shops and breweries like Heist, stocking his product on their shelves now.
The biggest thing was we did a lot of pop-up events and kind of like those farmers market, street markets kind of things. And of course, all of those with this coronavirus have been canceled. So we've had to be creative and do some different things. Heist isn't going to stay in business by selling our dog treats, but if they can sell our dog treats and a couple other things and make a little bit of extra, money here and there, it might help them keep one more person.
It's so hard when your staff is calling you and they're like, what's happening? What are we doing? What can I do? And you don't have answers for them.
The manager here told me that this community has been stepping up to try to help keep things going. He even gave an example of one customer who bought food from them every day this week, Phil.
So much uncertainty. Thanks, Deshaun. The North Carolina Restaurant Association sent Governor Cooper a letter yesterday calling on him to reopen restaurants for dining in sooner than planned. It says only 35% of the state's restaurants can afford a shutdown of 2 months or more. The group says restaurants should adopt strict health safety rules like socially distanced tables and reduced capacities. Just yesterday, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster announced his work or home order will be lifted Monday. Restaurants will open, but only for outside dining. The state is also lifting restrictions on out-of-state visitors. Governor McMaster says decisions on other reopenings and public gatherings will be coming soon. Tonight, Channel 9 reporter Aaron Edwards is talking to people in South Carolina, asking what it will take for them to feel comfortable going out to eat again. Watch her report tonight at 10 and 11. About a dozen people rallied to support reopening Gaston County businesses this morning. This video from our partners at the Gaston Gazette shows them holding signs in front of Gastonia City Hall. Earlier this week, Gaston County Commissioner Chairman Tracy Philbeck signed an order that would let businesses open. But later that day, the county clarified, saying businesses should follow the state's stay-at-home order. Just yesterday, protesters marched in uptown Charlotte demanding businesses reopen. There have been similar rallies around the state. Today's protests come as the state reported its highest number of new cases on record. 586 new cases were reported today, but the state doesn't just look at that number. They use the percentage of total tests that came back positive as one of their key metrics for reopening. That needs to be on a downward trend over a 14-day period. However, that figure was up today after dropping almost every day over the last week. In South Carolina, there have been just under 6,500 cases and 267 deaths. There's growing concern tonight about what a second wave of COVID-19 could look like. Doctors at UNC Chapel Hill and Duke say they're optimistic about certain areas of North Carolina opening up within a month. However, when another wave of the virus comes, doctors say it's a matter of how big the peaks are.
We don't know if you've had infection yet, whether you're truly immune. We're not going to know for 2 and maybe 4 weeks whether, in fact, opening things up at this point in time leads to a big new peak, because it won't occur till mid-May or the end of May.
A recent study published by the Center for Infectious Disease Research and Policy says the pandemic could last up to 2 years.
We can't expect there to be a time in the next 6 to 12 months when we're COVID free. That's a reality.
A lot of modeling for this pandemic comes from the 1918 Spanish flu that came in 3 waves. Doctors say there has to be a way to coexist with COVID that doesn't hurt the economy. A $1.6 billion coronavirus aid package has been passed by North Carolina's General Assembly. Here's a look at how some of those federal funds will be spread around. First, schools. $75 million goes to school nutrition, $47 million for remote learning resources, including improved internet connectivity and devices for teachers and students. Now to medical fields, $85 million will be spent on research with the UNC Co-Laboratory. Wake Forest, Duke, East Carolina, and Campbell each getting big chunks of money to study the virus. $50 million is allotted for buying personal protective equipment, $25 million for testing and tracing, and $20 million to hire more nurses, health workers, and telehealth services. There's also $150 million for local government grants and $125 million for small business loans. The agreement had unanimous bipartisan support. All that's left is for the governor to sign it. Now, we just threw a lot of numbers at you, but we have a complete, more detailed breakdown of where all that money's going inside this story on the WSOC app.